Chapter 24. A man called Ove and a brat who paints in color. The stop is so full of people when Ove drives away from the hospital that he keeps checking the fuel gauge, as if he's afraid that it's going to break into a scornful dance. In his back mirror, he sees Pavane unconcernedly giving the 3-year-old paper and color crayons. "Does she have to do that in the car?" barks Ove. "Would you rather have her restless so she starts wondering how to pull the upholstery off of the seats?" Pavane says calmly. Ove doesn't answer, just looks at the 3-year-old in his mirror. She's shaking a big purple crayon at the cat in Pavane's lap and yelling, "Drawing!" The cat absolves the child with great caution, clearly reluctant to make itself available as a decorative surface. Patrick sits between them, turning and twisting his body to try and find a comfortable position for his plastered shinbone, which he wedged up on the armrest between the front seats. It's not easy, because he's doing his best not to dislodge the newspapers that Ove has placed both on his seat and under the plastered leg. The 3-year-old drops the color crayon, which rolls forward under the passenger seat, where Jimmy, who has come along to help, is sitting. In what must surely be a move worthy of an Olympian acrobat. For a man of his physique, Jimmy managed to bend forward and scoop up the crayon from the mat in front of him. He checks it out for a moment, grins, then turns to Patrick's propped up leg and draws a large, smiling man on the plaster. The toddler shrieks with joy when she notices. "So you're going to start making a mess as well?" says Ove. "Pretty neat, isn't it?" Jimmy jeers and looks as if he's about to make a high five at Ove. Ove rolls his eyes. "Sorry, man, couldn't stop myself," says Jimmy, and somewhat shamefaced gives back the crayon to Pavane. There's a plinging sound in Jimmy's pocket. He hauls out a mobile phone as large as a full-grown man's hand and occupies himself with frantically tapping the display. "Whose is the cat?" Patrick asks from the back. "Ove's a kitty," the 3-year-old answers with rock-solid certainty. "It is not," Ove corrects her at once. He sees Pavane smiling teasingly at him in the back mirror. "Is so?" she says. "No, it isn't," says Ove. She laughs. Patrick looks very puzzled. She pats him encouragingly on the knee. "Don't worry about what Ove is saying. It's absolutely his cat. He's a bloody vagrant. That's what he is," Ove corrects. The cat lifts its head to find out what all the commotion is about, then concludes that all this is sensationally uninteresting and snuggles back into Pavane's lap, or rather her belly. "So it's not being handed in somewhere?" Patrick wonders, scrutinizing the feline. The cat lifts its head a little, hissing briefly at him by way of an answer. "What do you mean, handed in?" Ove says, cutting him short. "Well, to a cat home or some..." Patrick begins but gets no further before Ove bawls. "No one's being handed in to any bloody home." And with this, the subject is exhausted. Patrick tries not to look startled. Pabane tries not to burst out laughing. Neither really manage. Can we stop off somewhere for something to eat? Jimmy interjects and adjusts his seat position. The stop starts swaying.